Have you ever had one of those moments? Maybe while standing in the kitchen with your morning coffee, or maybe sitting in your favorite chair looking out the window, where you suddenly stop and think, wait a minute, who's actually running my life right now? You might not have said the words out loud, but something inside you felt it. Like somehow, after all these years of working hard, raising families, following the rules, and doing what was expected, you were supposed to finally feel free, in control, but instead, it feels like the world still keeps pulling you in directions you didn't quite choose. If that's ever crossed your mind, you're not alone. A lot of people feel that after retirement, the control they thought they'd have doesn't show up the way they imagine. Maybe your schedule is full, but it's full of things you didn't really want to commit to. Or maybe you're living in a way that keeps other people happy, but deep down, it's not what you want anymore. The good news is, you can take that control back. And you don't need a big dramatic change to do it. You don't need to move to a new city or suddenly take up skydiving. Unless you want to, of course. What you do need is to remember something very simple, but incredibly powerful. This is your life, not anyone else's. And just because the world around you has its ideas about what people should do after retirement doesn't mean those ideas have to become your reality. In this video, we're going to have a heart-to-heart about what it really means to stay in control of your own life after retirement. We'll explore practical ways to protect your time, strengthen your voice, and reconnect with the choices that truly feel like yours. Because retirement isn't the end of your story, it's just the beginning of a new chapter, one that you get to write. Let's start with something that sounds simple but can completely shift how your days feel: owning your time. Now, I'm sure you've heard people say, "Oh, you're retired now. You must have so much free time." But let's be honest, retirement doesn't always mean freedom. In fact, sometimes it can feel like your time belongs to everyone else. Suddenly, people assume you're always available. You're asked to help out with errands, watch the grandkids, attend every family event, volunteer for this, join that, and before you know it, your calendar's full, but your joy? Maybe not so much. You might even feel a little guilty saying no. After all, you want to help. You want to be supportive. But here's the truth. Helping others doesn't mean sacrificing yourself. Saying yes to everyone else doesn't make you generous if it leaves you feeling resentful or exhausted. So here's something to try. Before saying yes to something, pause just for a moment. Ask yourself, is this something I want to do or something I feel obligated to do? There's a big difference. Wanting to say yes means you're giving from a full heart. Feeling obligated means you're handing over your time like it's not worth protecting. Give yourself permission to choose, to say, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I won't be able to this time." You don't need to justify it. You don't need an excuse. A simple, kind no is enough. And every time you say no to something that drains you, you're saying yes to something that fuels you. Once you start protecting your time, something else starts to shift. You begin reconnecting with your own pace. And let me tell you, there's nothing more freeing than moving through life on your own terms. Waking up when your body's ready, not when the alarm insists. Eating when you're hungry, not just because it's noon. Going for a walk because the weather feels perfect, not because it's on a checklist. Your time is a gift, and no matter how much you want to be there for others, don't forget that you deserve to be there for yourself too. Another part of staying in control of your life is listening to your own voice again. And I don't just mean talking, I mean really hearing yourself. Your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions. Sometimes, after years of putting others first, we lose touch with our own desires. We get used to making decisions based on what's practical, or what's normal, or what someone else expects. But this stage of life, this is when you get to ask different questions. Not what should I do, but what lights me up. Not will they approve, but will I feel proud of this? And if you're not sure where to start, try this. Grab a notebook, or even just a scrap of paper, and write down 3 things that have always brought you joy. But that maybe you haven't done in a while. Things you used to love before life got busy. Maybe it's painting, or gardening, or playing the piano. Maybe it's reading mystery novels under a blanket with a hot cup of tea. Maybe it's dancing in the kitchen like no one's watching. Whatever it is, make time for it again. Not because it's productive, not because it's impressive, but because it's you. And that little voice inside, the one that lights up when you reconnect with the things that make you feel alive, that voice deserves to be heard. Now, sometimes staying in control of your life also means setting boundaries. And for a lot of people, boundaries feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to being the go-to person, the dependable one, the helper, the fixer. But here's something to remember. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about keeping you close to you. They're about saying, this is what I need to feel good. This is what I need to protect my peace. And the people who truly care about you, they'll respect that. The ones who don't, well, their discomfort isn't your responsibility to carry. Setting boundaries might sound like saying, I can't come over today, I'm resting. Or, I'd rather not talk about that topic, it stresses me out. Or even, I'm not available on Sundays. I use that time for myself. It might feel awkward the first few times. That's okay. Growth always does. But the more you practice speaking up for yourself, the more natural it becomes. And the more respect you show yourself, the more others will start to follow your lead. So whether it's your time, your energy, your voice, or your peace, take it back. Not in a loud, aggressive way, but in a calm, steady, confident way. Because this life is yours, and there's no expiration date on ownership. You've got every right to lead it, shape it, and enjoy it, fully and on your own terms. Let's keep going, because now that you're thinking about how you spend your time and how you're using your voice, there's something else that naturally follows. And that's how you see yourself in this stage of life. See, a lot of people think retirement is the point where everything slows down, that it's all about winding down, staying quiet, stepping back, and letting the younger generation take the wheel. But who decided that? Who said that turning 60 or 70 means you're supposed to fade into the background? The truth is, your identity doesn't vanish when you stop working. If anything, this is when it becomes even more important to know who you are, what matters to you, and what you want to do with your time. Because now, for the first time in a long time, you don't have to build your days around someone else's rules. No more alarm clocks for morning meetings. No more deadlines that weren't your own. No more pretending to care about things that didn't speak to your heart. So what do you really want this part of your life to look like? It's easy to fall into old patterns. Maybe you still catch yourself asking others for permission to rest, to start something new, to say no, to speak up. But staying in control of your life means remembering you don't need that permission. You've lived a life full of lessons, responsibilities, achievements, and yes, even mistakes. All of it has shaped your wisdom. So now your compass should come from within. Let's talk about something many people don't think about enough. Control over your physical environment. You know that saying, your space reflects your mind? There's a lot of truth to that. When your home feels like it belongs to you, when it feels peaceful, safe, and inspiring, it changes the way you carry yourself through the day. So ask yourself, does your space reflect the life you want to live? Or is it still stuck in a version of life you've outgrown? Take a walk through your home with fresh eyes. Is your furniture arranged in a way that supports ease and comfort? Do you have items around you that make you feel calm and happy? Or are you still holding on to clutter, old gifts, or decorations you don't even like? But you keep them because you feel guilty getting rid of them. This is your home. It should serve you. Every corner of it should be a place where you feel safe, where your body can move freely, where your heart can breathe. You don't need a big renovation or fancy decorations. Sometimes it's as simple as clearing a space by the window where you can sit and enjoy your tea in the morning, or getting rid of that wobbly chair you've never liked, or finally hanging up that painting you've always loved but never got around to putting on the wall. And it's not just about physical comfort, it's emotional too. Your home should be a place where you feel in control. That might mean setting boundaries with visitors. Maybe you've got someone who just drops by unannounced and stays for hours. If that leaves you feeling drained, it's okay to change the pattern. I'd love to see you, but can we plan ahead next time? It's a simple sentence, but it protects your space and your peace. When your environment supports your independence and comfort, it helps you stand a little taller, breathe a little deeper, and live with more clarity. That's control, not controlling others, controlling your experience. And that starts at home. Now let's shift to something a little deeper. Control over your mindset. This one's a biggie, and it's something that doesn't happen overnight, but it's probably the most powerful tool you have. We all carry stories about who we are, and often those stories are shaped by what people told us growing up, what society expected, what roles we were supposed to play. But here's the thing. Retirement gives you the opportunity to rewrite those stories, not to erase the past, but to reclaim your own narrative. Maybe you were always the responsible one, the caretaker, the one who never had time to explore your own dreams. Maybe you were told you weren't creative, or bold, or adventurous. Maybe you were expected to play it safe. And maybe, just maybe, you've outgrown that version of yourself. Now is the time to ask, what else could be true about me? Could you be the kind of person who learns something new every year? Who joins a writing group, or takes a pottery class, or travels to places you used to only dream about? Could you be someone who finally speaks their mind at family dinners? Who starts painting again after 30 years? Who wears whatever they want because they like how it feels, not because it fits someone else's idea of appropriate? You don't need to become someone new. You just need to let go of the version of yourself that no longer fits. And that's not selfish. It's honest. It's brave. It's how you take back control. And listen, I know change isn't always easy, especially when it means challenging the stories you've lived with for decades. But you don't have to change everything at once. It starts with little things. Choosing the clothes you actually like, saying no when you're tired, taking a different route on your daily walk just to see something new, trying something you've never done before, not because you have to, but because you can. And as you do these things, you start to trust yourself again. You start to believe that you can lead your own life, not just follow it, that you deserve to feel free, inspired, and purposeful, not just busy or useful. This isn't about chasing some dramatic transformation. It's about making space for you to show up fully with your wisdom, your quirks, your preferences, your heart. And when you live like that, when you choose your time, your space, your mindset, other people start to see you differently too. They start to recognize that you're not here to be managed or pitied or boxed in. You're here to live. Sometimes that means dealing with a little pushback. Not everyone's going to love it when you start making new choices. You might hear things like, "Oh, you've changed," or "That's not like you." And that's okay. You have changed. You're allowed to. You're growing. You're taking back the steering wheel. And anyone who loves you for who you really are will walk with you through that. So don't shrink. Don't apologize for living in a way that feels true to you. Don't wait for someone else to say it's okay. You've waited long enough. Let's keep going, because now that you've been reflecting on your space, your mindset, and the power you have to shape your days, it's time to talk about something else that can either lift you up or slowly drain you: your relationships. After retirement, something interesting happens. You suddenly have more time, but not everyone respects how valuable that time really is. And if you're not careful, you might find yourself saying yes to things that don't feel good, or spending time with people who don't really see or support the version of you that's growing now. One of the most powerful things you can do to stay in control of your own life is to become very intentional about your relationships. Not just who you spend time with, but how those relationships function. Are they mutual? Are they respectful? Do you feel heard when you talk? Do you feel lighter or heavier after spending time with them? It's not selfish to ask those questions. It's smart, because time is precious. Your energy is precious. You've spent so many years putting others first: your job, your kids, your community, your responsibilities. And you did that because you cared. But now your care also needs to turn inward. That means choosing relationships that energize you, support you, and make you feel more you, not less. Maybe that means letting go of certain expectations. You don't have to pick up the phone every time someone calls, especially if that call always leaves you feeling exhausted or frustrated. You don't have to say yes to every invitation, especially if you'd rather spend that time reading a good book, going for a quiet walk, or working on your garden. Your boundaries are your rights, not favors you're asking for. On the flip side, Staying in control also means nurturing the relationships that do matter, the ones that light you up. Maybe it's a neighbor who always waves and chats a little longer. Maybe it's an old friend who you haven't spoken to in a while, but think about often. Maybe it's someone you met recently at a local event, and something about them felt easy and kind. Make space for those people. Make the call. Send the message. Invite them over for coffee. At this stage of life, relationships don't need to be big or busy to be meaningful. A simple connection, one that's built on honesty, warmth, and mutual respect, can be deeply healing and empowering. Sometimes the most meaningful relationships you'll have after retirement are the ones you build by choice, not by obligation. And that's the beauty of this chapter. You get to choose. You get to decide what kind of people you want around you and what kind of relationships you're willing to invest in. And speaking of investing, let's talk about investing in your purpose. Because staying in control of your life doesn't just mean protecting your peace. It also means staying engaged in something that matters to you. Something that gives your days structure, joy, and meaning. Purpose doesn't have to mean a big project or volunteering every day of the week. It could be something as simple as creating, writing poems or journaling in the morning, painting just for the fun of it, tinkering in the garage, baking on Sunday afternoons because it reminds you of someone you love. Purpose could also be found in sharing, passing down stories, traditions, knowledge, or just your presence. You don't have to be anyone's grandparent or mentor to make an impact. Just showing up as someone who listens, who offers kindness, who lives with integrity. That's purpose too. Maybe your purpose is growing something. Not just plants in the garden, but maybe a community. Maybe you want to start a little book club at the local library, or meet other folks at a park once a week just to walk and talk, or help someone else feel seen the way you wish someone had seen you when you were younger. It's never too late to feel lit up by something again. Never too late to try. Never too late to find something that makes you want to get up in the morning and say, "This is mine. This is what I love." And when you have purpose, something that's yours, something that no one else gave you and no one else can take away, that's when you feel truly in control. That's when you stop waiting for life to tell you what to do and you start telling life, "Here's how I want this to go." And just as important as purpose is presence, being here in the moment instead of living in regrets about the past or fears about the future. That's one of the gifts of getting older, if you let it be. You've already been through so much. You've weathered the storms. You've survived things you never thought you'd make it through. So now each quiet moment, each warm cup of tea, each breeze on your skin, each belly laugh, it's not just a moment, it's a victory. It's life saying, you're still here and you still get to make it beautiful. Taking control of your life after retirement isn't about becoming someone new. It's about finally having the space, the time, and the clarity to be yourself, fully and unapologetically. That means you get to decide what your days look like. You get to choose how you move your body, how you spend your energy, how you treat your home, who you welcome into your circle, and what dreams you still want to chase. And it's okay if you don't have all the answers right now. This isn't a race. There's no finish line. There's just the journey, and you're allowed to take your time. But let me tell you this, whatever age you are right now, you are not too old to make a change. You are not too old to fall in love with life again. You are not too old to surprise yourself. You are not too old to be bold. So if there's something you've been waiting to do, say it, try it, wear it, create it. Let this be the moment you decide to stop waiting, because this life is yours. You've earned it. You deserve to enjoy it. Not just in small sips, but in big, joyful gulps. And hey, if this message spoke to you, even just a little, I'd love for you to share your thoughts down in the comments. What's something you've done recently to take control of your time, your space, or your peace of mind? What have you let go of? What are you just starting to dream about? If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It helps more people like you find their way here. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another video that helps you live stronger, happier, and more free every single day. Here's to your freedom, your voice, your space, your joy. Here's to living your best life at any age.